So 2024 has been fairly light on superhero staples, with DC taking a break to reboot and really only dropping Joker, and Marvel delaying several projects. So it's safe to say that the anticipation for Deadpool and Wolverine has been in the public consciousness all year long, with it being the introduction of the Merc with a Mouth to the MCU, the return of Hugh Jackman in the role of Wolverine, and the MCU's first R-rated feature. Now, it's a lot for director Sean Levy to juggle, and the finished product, while being certainly messy and unfocused, it's still one of the most fun experiences that you're going to have at the theater all year. Now, 6 years have passed since we last saw Wade Wilson, played by Ryan Reynolds, and he's trying to make something of his life, finally. When he's brought in by the TVA and is informed that his timeline is dying, and the only thing that can save it is Wolverine, Wade puts on his tight red suit and he sets out to find Wolverine, any Wolverine really, that can fix his world and save the people he cares about. Now, it's been a long journey to get Deadpool to the MCU. The third Deadpool was originally envisioned by Fox to be an X-Force-centered project after the team was introduced and subsequently killed off in the previous installment. Then Deadpool 2 ended up getting recut into something called Once Upon a Deadpool, which was a PG-13 cut of the film, in order for Fox and Marvel to understand if the series could make the trip with a lighter touch. Once Hugh Jackman actually joined the film, it became a road trip movie at one point, modeled after Rashomon, and for a short time was envisioned as a low-budget indie film, and even at one point a film where Deadpool saves Christmas, before arriving on a multiversal tale that fits, for better and worse, into the current plane of the MCU. Now, I can't wait for superhero fans to see what is in store for them in Deadpool and Wolverine. The movie features some of those scenes that we never would have dreamed of back before the days of the MCU. Character pairings, set pieces, and self-referential and often self-deprecating humor elevates some of the film's lesser qualities and makes for an extremely exciting movie experience. Within the first few minutes, as Wade tells us how he plans to find Logan, we completely understand that nothing is off limits for our fourth wall breaking hero. And some of the most shocking moments occur in those first few minutes. And it is nice to see Marvel having fun poking at itself with its recent troubles, even though I wonder how well some of this humor is going to age, given that a lot of it is targeted at current pop culture, more so than previous installments even. Now, a lot of the surprises of the movie amounted to some genuinely crowd-pleasing moments, even at my press screening, where several moments had us standing up, clapping, and cheering at what was accomplished. But it should be noted that most of these pops were very much coming from a cool fan service moments, more so than narrative purpose. You know, whereas movies like Spider-Man, No Way Home, and The Flash use their fan service for more narrative, character-driven purposes, Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't have as much of that outside of the utilization of Wolverine himself, who carries a completely new interpretation of the character he made famous over 2 decades ago, and an emotional resonance delivered by a strong performance. Perhaps the film's focus on big, bombastic moment is to its detriment in terms of structural standing, as the narrative is almost paper-thin, and Deadpool's emotional character journey is very low impact, especially when you compare it to the previous 2 installments. I felt like they elaborated on his character in much more significant ways. There's a good amount of exposition and stakes build-up throughout the feature that's ultimately less impactful than the movie or the marketing would have you believe. And the motivation and growth of Wade here is easily the weakest of the 3 films so far, mostly being tied up by a single line of dialogue from Wolverine in the 3rd act. You know, the same can be said of the supporting cast, who pop in for a fun surprise and some cool action, but mostly don't matter much to the plot. So Deadpool and Wolverine suffers from a number of structural and character issues, but the movie is so entertaining that I can overlook some of its faults. I don't think it will win over everyone, especially those looking to this film to dramatically alter or save the MCU, but I was entertained and on the edge of my seat for its entirety, flaws and all. Deadpool and Wolverine is an absolute hoot and well worth watching for anyone who's enjoyed not just the MCU or the X-Men films, but a comic book movie at all in the last 25 years. But I would urge you to see it opening weekend, as so not to spoil some of its flashier moments. I give the film a 3.5 out of 5. You can find a written version of this review over at goatfilmreviews.com. I'm Kyle Goethe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.